Hello friends, welcome back to my new video lecture. In today's lecture, I'll be talking about one of the trio of Indian English fiction. The trio, as you know, consists of Mulk Raj Anand, R.K. Narayan and Raja Rao, who created a mark of Indian literature in the world writing in English. You have guessed it right. Today I will talk about Mulk Raj Anand as a writer. But before I move ahead, before I start my lecture, it is my humble request, my dear friends, that if you like my lecture, if you like my YouTube channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and press the bell icon so that immediately you receive the notifications of my new videos as soon as I upload them on my channel. So let us begin. Mulk Raj Anand as a writer. When we talk of Mulk Raj Anand's biographical details, let us first try to understand his timeline. Mulk Raj Anand was born on 12th of December 1905 in Peshawar, which is now in Pakistan, and died on 28th of September 2004 in Pune, in India. He was the son of Mr. Lal Chand, who by profession was a coppersmith, and his mother, Miss Ishwar Kaur, was a housewife. Mulk Raj Anand graduated from Khalsa College, Amritsar, Punjab in 1924, and right from his college days he was very socially active. During his college days he participated in the non-cooperation movement in 1921, and also as a result of which he was imprisoned for some time. Later on, he went for his higher studies on a scholarship to the University College London, and further he got enrolled after some time in University of Cambridge. He earned his PhD degree in 1929 and got actively engaged in left-wing politics. He married Kathleen Van Gelder, English actress, in 1938. Their marriage resulted in giving birth. Mulk Raj Anand had a daughter called Sushila, and in 1948 the divorce between Mulk Raj Anand and Kathleen happened. Mulk Raj Anand remarried Shireen Wajibdar, who by profession was an Indian classical dancer, choreographer, instructor and critic, in 1950. As a professional writer, Mulk Raj Anand began writing in England by publishing his short reviews in T.S. Eliot's reputed magazine Criterion. During the 1930s and 1940s, that was a stay of Mulk Raj Anand in Europe, he actively participated in the European politics and became a regular speaker at the meetings of the Indian League too. The Indian League, if we understand what was Indian League is basically a Britain-based organization, the purpose of which was to campaign for full independence and self-governance for India. So while he was in England, also he was fighting for the cause of Indian independence. V.K. Krishna Menon was the founder of the Indian League. During this period, Mulk Raj Anand came in contact with intellectuals such as Bertrand Russell, Henry Miller, George Orwell and others. George Orwell has played a considerable part. He, has given his valuable suggestions to Mulk Raj Anand pertaining to his various writings. Mulk Raj Anand was also deeply influenced by Mahatma Gandhi. Anand played a very pivotal role in the establishment of the Progress Writers Association, which was established in London, along with writers such as Sajjad Zahir and Ahmad Ali. And this Progressive Writers Association was founded in 1935. In 1937, Anand joined the International Brigade in the Spanish Civil War. During this time, Anand, as a socialist, wrote various articles and essays on various topics such as Marxism, fascism, Indian independence, and there were other plethora of topics. From 1939, he started lecturing in literature and philosophy in institutes such as London County Council Adult Education Schools and the Workers' Educational Association, where he taught till 1942 before he came back to India. Anand is considered to be a pioneer of Anglo-Indian fiction writing. And this is a very important point, my dear friends. He is known as India's Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens, as you know, portrays the social evils resulting in the development of the protagonist and the suffering of the protagonist in his novels. In that same way, Anand also has portrayed various evils of the society through his novels. His first novel is, as we know, The Untouchable, which was published in 1935. And this epithet of Charles Dickens of India was given to Mulk Raj Anand after the grand success of his first novel, The Untouchable. As I said, both Anand and Charles Dickens, they reflect the life and the sufferings and also the sufferings of the lowest class in the society through their novels. During the 1930s and 1940s, Anand was very actively involved in the politics of London and India. In London, Anand got associated with the British Labour Party, whereas in India, Anand got associated with the Indian National Congress. During the Second World War, Anand worked as a broadcaster and script writer in the film division of BBC. And after the Second World War, he returned to India. As soon as he returned to India, he started his active participation in Indian politics. In 1946, another very important point from the examination point of view, Anand founded a fine arts magazine. The name of the magazine is Marg. From 1948 to 1966, Anand taught at various universities. He also served at the capacity of Tagore Professor of Literature and Fine Art at the University of Punjab during 1960s. He was the Fine Art Chairman at the Lalit Kala Academy from 1965 to 1970. Anand also became the President of the Lokayata Trust in 1970. He died of pneumonia on 28th of September 2004 at the age of 98 in Pune, Maharashtra, India. Now, dear friends, let us look into the works of Anand. Here I will be talking about the important works of Anand, and also I will be giving you some details, some idea about those works so that it can help you through, to appear in and answer various questions in various competitive examinations. As I said earlier also, his first novel, The Untouchable, was published in 1935, and this was published by a British firm called the Wishart. This novel can be seen as a poignant reminder of the atrocities of the caste system in India. The caste system was very vividly depicted through the character of Bakha, as you would know, who, because simply he belonged to the lowest of the lowest caste, he was expected to carry out all the menial jobs, and he had no option but to do that. And exploitation came as an add-on service, as a bonus, because he belonged to a caste system which belonged to the lower caste. His second novel, which was written within 3 months and after the grand success of The Untouchable, is Coolie, which was published in 1936. And Anand got it published because he was reputed. He made his name with the first novel himself, so he got it published with any less. There was no difficulty in getting it published. And this book is the highly critical book, the Coolie, of also the caste system in India. Untouchable is basically caste, Coolie is class. So at one hand, Anand is showing the caste system, and the other hand he is showing the class system. If you are economically weak, what kind of difficulties you have to face and how people perish through fighting through difficulties, those economic difficulties. That is the poignant tale of a 14-year-old boy called Munu in Coolie. His third novel, Two Leaves and a Bird, which was published in 1937. This novel also deals with the way the lower caste people are exploited in India. It also depicts the dehumanizing effects of colonialism and capitalism. And as you know, it is the story of a poor peasant who is brutally killed by a British officer who tries to rape his daughter. His fourth novel, Lament on the Death of a Master of Arts, which was published in 1938. Anand calls it a long short story because this is around 66-67 pages novel. And this was written when he was in a sea voyage from Tilburg to Bombay. During that voyage, he wrote this novel. His fifth novel, The Village, which was published in 1939, is the first part of the trilogy. The trilogy is about a rebellious adolescent and his experiences in World War I. The second part is Across the Black Waters, which was published in 1939, and the third part, The Sword and the Sickle. Anand, Sword and the Sickle was published in 1942 and announced the title in the beginning as All Men Are Brothers. But George Orwell's suggestion made him to change the name, and he named this initial title, All Men Are Brothers, into The Sword and the Sickle. In my beginning lecture, I said in the beginning of this lecture that George Orwell has played a very active role in the writings of Anand also. He has, from time to time, he has suggested Anand. This is one of the major suggestions which he gave. This particular title, The Sword and the Sickle, is adapted from William Blake's poem. And that is, William Blake wrote Poems from a Notebook in 1773. So, Poems from a Notebook, one of the stanzas, it is adapted, this title, The Sword and the Sickle. His next, number 8 novel is The Big Heart. The Big Heart deals with the theme of the conflict between the hereditary coppersmiths and the capitalists. So, it deals with the tussle of capitalists and the laborers, or the trained laborers. It's a novel about a village of artisans in Amritsar district in the early 1940s, whose livelihood is destroyed because of the establishment of a factory producing copper utensils by the capitalists. His ninth novel, The Private Life of an Indian Prince, 1953, it was published, and this novel deals with the abolition of the princely states system in India. Through his writings, you can get an idea that he was a complete socialist. He wrote for various social causes which are very, very reminiscent in his writings. His 10th novel, The Old Man and the Cow, a very significant novel. It was written in 1960. This novel had another title, Gauri. Sometimes you can, get mixed up. It is around 20-21 years later that this novel was also published as Gauri. So, Gauri and The Old Woman and the Cow are the same novels. So, initially it was published as The Old Woman and the Cow in 1960. The Old Woman and the Cow is only of Anand's novel. This is also significant because this is only of the Anand's novels which have the protagonist as a central character in the form of a woman. Woman forms only as a protagonist in this novel by Anand, and it is also his only novel to present woman problems and sufferings. And as you can guess from the second title of this novel, Gauri is the protagonist of this novel. His 11th novel, The Road, which was published in 1961, can be seen as an abridged form which was written of that of Untouchable after 20-25 years. This was published in 1961, so the setting and characters are changed, but the theme of exploitation of the low caste by the high caste people, which was very remnant in his first novel, can be seen here in this novel, The Road. Now, my dear friends, these are his famous 11 novels. Let us move to his short story collections. He has written a lot of short stories. There are 7 short story collections, as you can see on your screen. He wrote his first short story collection, The Lost Child and Other Stories, which was published in 1934, followed by his second collection, The Barbers' Trade Union and Other Stories, 1944. His third short story collection is The Corn Goddesses and Other Stories, which was published in 1947. Rejections on the Golden Bed and Other Stories and Other Stories, basically, 1953. The Power of Darkness and Other Stories, 1959. Lajwanti and Other Stories, 1966. Between Tears and Laughter, 1973. These are his 7 short story collections. He also told, older Indian tales in 2 collections. One is The Indian Fairy Tale in 1946, followed by the other one in 1961. Now, let us look into his autobiographies. Initially, Anand planned to write 7 autobiographies, starting with 7 Summers, which was published in 1951. This 7 Summers Anand had planned after Shakespeare's analysis of life into 7 ages, which he did, as we all know, in his play As You Like It. 7 Summers of Anand, like its sequels of Morning Face and The Confession of a Lover, has its roots in the confession that Anand wrote at the behest of Ern, the beautiful daughter of the scientific philosopher whom he had met soon after arriving in England to pursue higher studies. His second category, his second part of the 7 planned, he could write only 4 out of the 7 autobiographies that he planned. His second one is very important, The Morning Face, which was published in 1968. It is important because Anand won the Sahitya Academy Award for it in 1971. His third is The Confessions of a Lover, which was published in 1976, and the fourth is Pilpali Sahab, which was published in 1985. His other category of works, be it a memoir or be it on Indian art. The first one is, as you can see on your screen, The Golden Breath, Studies in the 5 Poets of New India, which was published in 1933, followed by Introduction to Indian Art, 1956. He was the editor of this work. Third is Kama Kala, which was published in 1958. Fourth is Homage to Khajuraho. This can be important from examination point of view because he co-authored with Stella Kramish in 1962, and followed by number 5th one is The Death of a Hero, which he wrote in 1968. Death of a Hero is epitaph he wrote for the Kashmiri poet Maqbul Sherwani. When these Afghan soldiers attacked Kashmir in 1948, he was one of the poets who were killed by these Afghan soldiers. These Afghans, not official Afghani soldiers, but these tribals who attacked, this 1948 attack which was done in Kashmir. Maqbul Sherwani was killed in it. So this is an epitaph which Mulk Raj Anand wrote, Death of a Hero, followed by his 6th collection called Conversations in Bloomsbury. This is a memoir which was published in 1981. As we have seen so far, my dear friends, that Anand has considerably, played a significant role in the growth and development of Indian writing in English. Of course, he was recognized for his tremendous contribution and he won some of the very prestigious awards. Let us see, as you can see on the screen now. He was awarded the International Peace Prize in 1953, followed by the Padma Bhushan in 1967 for his vast contributions that he made towards the field of literature and education. And he won the Sahitya Academy Award, of course, as I discussed earlier on, for his second autobiographical work called The Morning Face in 1971. So this is the biographical detail, my dear friends. I hope I have been able to give you some important, vital informations from examination point of view also about Mulk Raj Anand in this presentation of mine. Thank you very much for taking out your valuable time and watching till the end of this video. And if you like this video, if you like my channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and press the bell icon so that you get the notifications at the earliest. Thank you very much for watching. May God bless you all. This is Dr. Shoykot Banerjee signing off for now on. Thank you so much.